Alright, ladies and gentlemen of the Outerhaven.net, as per usual, this is Karl Smart, and I'm at PAX yet again, and you've heard this intro so many times that I'm quite sure I'm saying it robotically at this point. But at this time, I'm sitting here with Vince, the Global Product Manager of Linksys, and as you can see behind me, they're promoting the absolutely beautiful WRT32X gaming router. I can tell you now, I got my hands on it just before PAX. I believe this is the official launch is today. Today it's come out, and basically with the limited time I had on it before PAX, this thing is exactly what any gamer needs. I'll tell you straight out. So I'll give you the praise before. So we'll start out with the obvious. So what was the idea behind building the router in this sort of capacity, aiming at gamers specifically?
Well, as the brand ambassador, the product manager for WRT, I'm looking for new markets that I could take what I know I had as amazing hardware technology in the WRT line of products. And so, looking around and seeing, in doing the homework on the needs for gamers, and we find out that, there are very specific needs for that online gaming community. And so, taking the WRT32X and building this specifically for the gamers and partnering with killer networking out there that actually makes some amazing software side of things. So it was a partnership with the makers of the killer networking that you find in MSI, Alienware, Razer, Gigabyte. I think Lenovo now is using them. And what they were doing on the PC side and then bringing it over to the router side to really optimize that online gameplay and making sure that gaming is number one. One of the things we find out is that other companies were taking the same networking technology they use in the consumer home, throwing it into a router, maybe changing the color of things and calling it a gaming router. And Linksys is a technology company. We can't do that. We want to make real solutions for gamers. So that's what we've done here with the WRT32X.
Well, to keep with the whole gaming side of it, just for those people who haven't seen any of the ads or maybe haven't been to your website and checked out this the router themselves. How did you tier your priorities when it came to like the gaming having one tier downloading? I believe it was downloading biggest files as down the lowest tier. You basically prioritized almost a streaming setup with gaming being number one, voice chat being number two, video number three. So how did that idea come about, and what technologies are in the router that sort of prioritizes that?
We're using the killer prioritization engine, which is like a QoS or a quality of service thing, but it's much more intelligent than the old school way of basically just carving out the bandwidth. And so it's dynamically, looking at all of the streams. It's identifying the gaming packets separately and then being able to prioritize them, as you mentioned. Because what we found out in our research is that when a guy's ready to go online and start doing his online gaming, usually he's running around the home telling everybody to get off the network. And that's, we make networking products so that all people can connect to the network, not just the gamer one that wants to game. And so, we saw a real need to be able to do that bandwidth management in the home so that, everybody can get to the network. The gaming ping times can still be maintained at the lowest levels despite your girlfriend, roommate, family members jumping on and doing their streaming and whatnot. So the killer prioritization engine is able to manage all that, and it can identify the small gaming packets and move them through very quickly. Then it also can take a look and say, well, that's a video type packet, and it knows that, okay, I can queue this one a little bit, but I'm going to make sure that I give it a big enough lane so that the streaming is preserved as well as the ping times when you're online gaming. And the cool part is that this actually works on both the downstream and the upstream, which a lot of people don't really realize that the up is much smaller than what you're getting down, and that is your input to the gaming server. And so being able to dynamically manage all of that is what's key to preserving that online gaming experience.
Yeah, I found even I only had 2 days with the router before having to come out here to PAX. You can set the priorities manually for each system that is connected. So if you really want to be an annoying little person, you can sort of go, hey, I'm going to put my computer as top priority and put everybody else's as low priority. But at the same time, obviously with the killer networking, which a lot of motherboards have integrated these days, the router has the ability to work out, okay, it's got this, and then go, okay, now we're going to take a look at how you've prioritized things. It's sort of, to me, it's sort of one of those great ideas instead of just, hey, we're going to put everybody into the one tunnel and you're screwed. But like, sort of, this has been one of my first real dives into a personalized router. I've used a lot of company locked routers over time, and to find, especially the Wi-Fi range on this is actually a lot wider and stronger than most average routers. Was there anything that you guys integrated specifically to boost the Wi-Fi, or was it just a happy coincidence?
We already knew, again, we had that was amazing, the hardware, and that being the really good radios that we put on board, that are actually enterprise grade, not what you would normally find on the consumer routers on there. So the hardware is there, but I think the key is the fact that the killer engine works on both wired and Wi-Fi, and so we're getting that bandwidth management no matter how you're connecting. And this is becoming more and more important as mobile gaming becomes more and more prevalent, and it is the fastest growing component of online gaming now is on the mobile side of things, which is all Wi-Fi. So we already had the most the strong, very powerful, high range radios on board, and so now it's just been able to managing that bandwidth all the way around. And so that's what's the key component there. So again, we already had that range in the WRT, but not necessarily tailored for gaming, and now we do with the WRT32X.
Now, as this is the product launch here in Australia, I don't know how familiar you are with our current changeover in technologies here from a very antiquated old school copper network with ADSL and stuff like that to what we're calling the National Broadband Network, which is it is yeah, very, very, very hot topic. Have you found that to be any sort of roadblock or hindrance to getting this router out there to the people, or you reckon it's just sort of everybody's going to pick this up regardless?
I think what's key is that whatever happens with there, and this is kind of one of the reasons why this is a pure router, because of that fluidity and what's going on with the modem side of things. Whatever they decide to put in, it'll definitely work. And then what we do is we just put it in bridge mode and make it a dumb modem, so that way the router itself is handling all of that, all of the DHCP, work, and actually being the router for that hub. What I've heard is that such a variability in the speeds too that are coming across as they kind of, I guess, stabilize. I'm not sure what's going on, but that's what I mentioned. How managing both sides is important because of, again, such variability and the bandwidth that's coming into the homes now with what you guys are experiencing.
Yeah, well, the other thing that I noticed, and it's probably the only reason why I keep my crappy Telstra modem even active at this point, we've moved on to most of our phone lines starting to become voice over IP. Is there any, I guess, so I'd probably have to say to be on the software side at this point, considering the hardware's already been built and everything, of maybe trying to find some way to get VoIP running with this modem, so those of us who wish to ditch the crap can get with the very superior.
Well, once we see how things stabilize, then we really can address those type of situations because of VoIP being much more coming out of that product that comes in with the new deployment out there. So again, I think it's still very, as I mentioned, fluid. So once we figure out kind of how, then we can address those problems. But right now, what we're doing is taking care of that online gameplay, and that's what we're able to nail right now with the WRT32X.
Now, on the software side of things, I believe it's called Venom is the software suite you're using.
That is actually the code name for the project, and.
Well, as a Spider-Man fan who is a big Venom fan, I say thank you.
There was some internal reasonings for how that Venom name came about as the internal code name. It's kind of cool that you picked up on it too, but that was the project name of us building this custom new firmware stack for this router. And so it's kind of taken a life of its own, because there was, again, a derivative product that I guess would be considered the Spider-Man.
Well, from my experience with it, even just the tiniest little details such as a pre-programmed switch for your DNS settings, if you want to stick with your ISP's ones, or you just push one button, you got the Google DNS, you got the Open DNS, or you can do custom. You've got a VPN section. You've even found a way to integrate speedtest.net style a speed test into the router itself. Was it sort of you guys just sort of went, okay, we've identified everything that the gamers need, and we're just going to put it all into one software package, or are you going to try and become the new Microsoft and take over the internet?
No, again, what we decided to do is build the router up, from the ground up, and every component that went into it, there were, we asked the hard question of a firmware architect: is this going to help or is this going to hurt online gaming? So that was kind of how this came about. And then, as you mentioned, some of that amazing UI and UX work on there. That's was some of the power of our internal UX teams really doing the research, querying the gamers, and doing testing to figure out what is the most important needs, and putting those in there and making sure that all the fluff is removed. And that is what we're doing here with the WRT32X. It's ensuring it is a true gaming router, because every piece of it is facilitating online gameplay at the lowest ping levels, no matter what's going on in the network.
I can definitely attest to that. Having the WRT32X sitting at home waiting for me to go home and go, oh, isn't this so good? It's definitely improved the internet quality in my home. And it does a lot better in my gaming. I'm not dying as much in PUBG on American servers. So when I'm playing with my fellow compatriots over at the Outerhaven.net who are in the US, I'm not getting as many hiccups as I used to, which is great. But just sort of one last thing, like, I know we've only just got this. It's only just come out today as we're recording this. Technology is always evolving. Anything that you think might want to be improved on, say, maybe a 33X, or are we going to the 33XX or XL, or?
Well, there is a roadmap, and I'll also say that the CES show is coming up pretty soon, and so we will continue to look for ways to really make online gameplay the best it can be, from what we can do from software as well as hardware side.
And have you thought about branching out into anything? Because no one company is just networking stuff anymore. It's like, hey, we've got the networking stuff, but we've also got keyboards, webcams, monitors. Is there any other ways that you think Linksys could sort of emerge into the gaming peripheral market, or other ways that they can help gamers keep getting that hot, keep their games as crisp as possible?
We are a networking company, so we're going to stay focused on what we do and what we do best, and that being networking, and with that special attention given to the online gaming community. So some other things that we're looking at, as a matter of fact, we've been working with PAX for the last couple of years, and through our networking enterprise-grade switch line, we are actually powering the open to play and I think also the BYOC areas with our Linksys Smart Switch line. So I can say that our Smart Switch line has been tournament-grade proven. And so that's one thing that is maybe not so well known, because that's more of on the enterprise side of things. But this is the type thing that we want to do. So we can do things like this because we're Linksys. We can scale to where we can power, and like at PAX West, we did I think 450 stations in their open to play area, as well as 350 stations on the BYOC area, all with Linksys switches. And I kept going to the NOC and checking on them, and the guys were like, rock steady. And so that's the kind of things that only a company like Linksys can do. We can do tournaments, and then you can, in a sense, bring home a piece of that tournament grade quality in that switch line in the WRT32X.
Yeah, that was actually going to be my next question, with esports being the big emerging scene that everybody's jumping on. You guys sort of seem to be, we want to be that networking company that everybody comes to, but we also want to be accessible to the average person in the home. So that's sort of the idea behind your enterprise bridges and stuff like that as well.
That's right. That's right. You know, and again, we have it there, and it's just a matter of getting it out there to let people know. You know, we have these amazing solutions for them. You know, from and a matter of fact, you know, in my world tour as we launch this product, we're seeing a lot of the esports facilities popping up all over the place. In Beijing, where we did the launch event there, they have an amazing esports facility that they're building out because it's becoming a phenomenon now around the world.
Well, that sort of brings things to a bit of a quiet end here. I'd like to thank you, Vince, for your time, and I look forward to putting out a review of the WRT32X on the Outerhaven.net very, very soon. I think that's just about it. Is there anything else you would like to add before signing off for the evening?
No, again, really appreciate you coming in and talking to us about the WRT32X and getting the word out there that you know there are real deal solutions out there to help them with their online gameplay.
So just one final time, if people want to find this, where are they going to be able to pick it up from?
Actually, you can pick it up from the floor today down here at PAX. We actually have that available, I think, in the Army.
Oh, it's on the floor here? What? Wait. Downstairs. Yeah.
Yeah, and again, all of I think the retailers here in Australia will be carrying that.
All right, thank you very much.